Hello and welcome to episode number 87 of Supercalifragilistic. My name is Christian Rauchenwald and today we're going to talk about how not to worry, like how to stop worrying and why you shouldn't worry. Before we talk about that, I want to quickly welcome everybody who tunes in for the first time to one of my episodes. Make sure to hit the subscribe button in the bottom right corner of this video, or if you're listening to this as a podcast, then simply subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out any future episodes. And if you take anything positive away from this video, I appreciate if you would give it a thumbs up so other people know that it actually contains valuable content. Now let's talk about worrying. Most of the people I know, or a lot of the people I know, are constantly worrying about something. For example, my personal trainer, he's like constantly worried before he crosses the road, like, does that car stop? Will it not stop? He's worried about like people breaking into his apartment. He's worried about, because he's an Afro-American, that maybe some skinheads, although there are not many skinheads in the city we live in, will eventually attack him and stuff like that. So it's constantly worrying. And there is a saying that I love really much. It says like, if you worry, you suffer twice. It means like you already suffer partially for like, oh my God, this might happen, that might happen. And then if it eventually happens, it's not said that it will happen, but if it happens, you suffer again. So there's really no point in worrying. For example, those of you who follow our story for quite some time now know that I left a quite well-paid CTO position for multiple reasons, and that we decided to use our savings to build something of our own. And we've been doing that now for 6 months. Now it's the 7th month. And so far our results are there, but they're not where they need to be in order to cover our ongoing costs. Meaning I could constantly worry about, oh my God, will we run out of savings? Will we run out of savings? Will it eventually work? But what good would that do? It would not change the fact that we're not where we need to be. All it would do, it would kind of place some doubt in my mind and make me not perform well, instead of focusing on the tasks that I need to get done in order to get us where we need to be or where we want to be. I would suddenly be constantly doubting, will this work? Will this work? And eventually I set myself up for failure this way. The moment you worry, you basically attract your misfortune. And it's what I believe strongly in. And the bigger problem is you worry and then nothing happens, you worry and nothing happens, and someday you worry and it actually happens, and you see this one out of 100 occasions to justify why you should constantly worry. But in the end, what's life if you're not able to enjoy it? If you constantly worry about, will I be late? Will I be on time? Will I miss the bus? Will I do this? Will that happen? Will I eventually get sick? There's no point in worrying. I notice it every year when the flu season starts and people start to worry, oh my God, it's the flu season, I may get sick, and suddenly they get sick. I never worry about that, and surprise, surprise, I hardly ever get sick. Yeah. I don't know why, but your mind plays a huge role. I can share a story with you. I mentioned it in a previous scenario before. When I was in the military, I was skinnier than I'm now. I was smoking. I was not doing a lot of sports. And there was one day where we went out on a march. We left the barracks at 9 in the morning with full gear, meaning roughly 30 kilos on your back. And we came back at 11:30 p.m. And in between it was basically marching, a short break for lunch, and a lot of exercises. And there were people who were a lot better trained, in a lot better shape than I, that gave up along the way and eventually had to be driven back to the barracks. And I simply, even though I had no energy left, everything hurt already, I had blisters on my feet, but in my mind, I told myself, I'm not gonna be the one that gives up. There were people that were also I wouldn't say in worse shape, but maybe they were really having a lot of overweight, yeah, so they were very obese. And I simply told myself, if that guy can still walk, I can too. And even though I was at my limit, but just because I wanted to prove it to myself, and I also wanted to be a help to my comrades, I even partially for parts of the walk, of the march, carried the weapon, which also had I don't know, 3 or 4 kilos or 2 kilos, I don't know, you could Google it, yeah, but what's the matter, what's the point? The thing is, I even took some of the gear from other people and carried it for whatever, 15 minutes. Then one of the other guys carried it. But the reason why I was able to endure all of that, even though I was physically already exhausted, it was in my mind. I did not focus on, oh my God, will I make it? Will I not make it? Oh my God, yeah. Your mind is your most powerful weapon. It's what you set your mind to do, it will eventually find a way. If you tell yourself, I cannot do something, you already lost, because your mind will not try to find a solution. if you, it's like the difference, if you read, like, I think in Rich Dad Poor Dad it's mentioned, like, a poor person will say like, oh, it's so expensive, I cannot afford it, and your mind will not try to think about ways. A rich person will say like, oh, it's so expensive, how can I afford it? And the mind will try to figure out ways, like, can I sell this, can I increase my revenue from here, can I do that? Yeah. And that difference in mindset is like all it takes. And that's also applies to worrying. If you're constantly worrying, your life's not gonna be like full of joy. I would actually not be surprised if there's a relation between like people who worry a lot and having people who have like heart attacks or heart issues or nervous breakdowns and stuff like that. There is no point. You're only a help to other people if you're happy and if you're like in a good position. If you yourself are unhappy, if you're worrying, if you're like in a negative mode, you cannot be a help to anybody. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why for me, well, yeah, people say family first. For me, the thing that's really most important is my positive attitude. Yeah. If anyone threatens my positive attitude by bringing a lot of negative energy to my life, I don't care if he or she's related to me, that person disappears from my life. I try to show them the way to become a more positive person. But if they are like so far gone that they're just like stuck in their daily complaining mode or something, I eventually just don't answer their calls anymore, or like distance myself and don't spend time with those people, because my positive self is the most important thing in this life. Only if I'm positive and in a good mood, I can then answer calls for people that have problems and like really be there for them. If I'm like worrying myself, I would pick up the phone and somebody would say like, oh, I really have a problem, or whatever, my girlfriend broke up with me, and my answer would probably be, yeah, tell me about it, I also have this and this and this, instead of being able to actually listen and help that person with their problems. So it's really like one of the most important things that you need to do. And if you found this video because you googled for how to stop worrying or something, then actually you're on the right track because you're looking for a solution. But you just have to like focus yourself on positive things in your life, and also like how to say, like really like realize that there is no point in worrying. If you start worrying, you could worry about everything. I could worry about, may there be an earthquake? I'm currently in the Ukraine, so I could every day worry about, will Russia eventually invade and turn our small city here also into a war zone? Yeah. So there's a million things I could worry about, but what good does it do? Honestly, ask yourself, like, what good does it do? Do you have any indication that worrying is justified? A friend of mine, it just happened this week, like we used to work at the same company and we didn't leave or like I worked there like as a freelancer and he worked there as like an intern, and we did not leave like the company like in a good fashion, let's say like that. We live not in a like professional way, but we just don't like get along with the CEO anymore. And he got a package, so he got an email from DHL saying a package from exactly that company, and the name of that CEO as well is on his way to his new address. He even moved in between, so he started worrying in the messenger like, oh, do you know anything about it? What could it be? What could it be? And I told him, don't worry, like just when you get home, open the package, you see what it is. Yeah, like then you can maybe worry depending on the content. Well, and he worried the whole day, and when he got home, it turned out it was his girlfriend that ordered some pants on Amazon, and as it happens, it used to be shipped by that store, by that company, and because there's another party living in the house with her last name, so she ordered it on his name. So that's all it was, and it basically ruined hours of his day for no reason, because he started worrying like, oh my god, what could it be? What could it be? There is no point in worrying. Yes, it's sometimes unpleasant if you get a letter from the IRS or something like that and you worry, what could it be? Well, just open the fucking letter, you will know, you know. Another case is like, I have a relative who has a lot of debt and somehow doesn't deal with it properly, and he has this pile of letters that he doesn't open. And even though I also was in situations where I had a lot of debt, and eventually I got things sorted out because I wanted to deal with it, yeah. But so he worries about what could that letter be, but he doesn't open it. And I know from experience, when you have a lot of debt, at some point, like the debt collectors will offer you, I don't know what it is in the US, but within Europe, they will offer you, okay, if you pay whatever, like 75% now or 50% now, it's going to be done. So if you open, within 2 weeks, for example, so if you open that letter, it actually is something positive. You may owe them $1,000, but if you pay 500 now, you're actually gonna solve your problem. It's gonna be done, and you saved $500 in interest or fees or stuff like that. If you don't open the letter, well, the deadline will pass, and you will get another letter where they still want 1,000 plus another more interest. So it's like, if you worry about things, it will not have a positive impact in your life at all. And how to stop worrying? One of the things is like, when you go to bed, before you fall asleep, think about like at least 3 positive things from the day to get your mind like in a positive state. Like, and if everything was bad, maybe you failed an exam, maybe your boyfriend left you or something, whatever it is, well, then you can still be grateful about the weather. Maybe it was not too hot, maybe it was not too cold, maybe it was perfect weather, maybe it was like a pleasant day, maybe you had a pleasant conversation, maybe you texted with an old acquaintance. Every day there's way more than 3 things, but all you need to do is like find 3 things for every day and do it consistently. Every day before you go to bed, think about 3 positive things that happened and convince yourself that it actually was a great day. No matter how bad your life currently is, there's always 3 positive things, 3 people that have been kind to you, 3 pleasant situations, 3 things you're happy that you got done or stuff like that. There will always be 3 positive things in your life, and that way you start setting yourself up for a positive mindset. And make it a priority to have a positive mindset and get rid of everybody who constantly tries to drag you down. Last but not least, think about when you see people that constantly complain, who are they surrounding themselves with? They also only spend time with people that are constantly complaining. Do you want to have a life like that and be with people that constantly complain how bad their life is, how unfair their boss is and stuff like that? Or do you want to actually have a life full of joy and full of success? Well, look at successful people who they surround themselves with. You will not see them spending their time with people who are constantly complaining. You will see them spending their time with people who are constantly like in a positive mood and aiming for the next goal, and who even don't see failure or take failure as something like, oh my God, the world's so bad, I failed, I should give up, but that try to learn from it and move on, that say like, yes, I failed with this, but I learned an important lesson in that and that field. So that's pretty much it. Leave your comments below, like how positive are you, like on a scale of like, I don't know, every month, like how many days do you have where you worry or you feel sad and stuff like that. I'm at a point where I have like per month, there's like on average there's 1 day where I'm not totally on top. But other than that, I usually really like start every day with a positive mood. And no matter what happens, no matter like how bad our sales numbers look or stuff like that, I still am able to stay in or to maintain my positive mindset, because I know it's the only thing that will make eventually the difference between succeeding and failing hard. So thanks for watching or listening to this. Again, don't forget, thumbs up if you took anything away from that. And see you tomorrow with another episode. Tomorrow is Sunday, so there's going to be a progress report on our like business journey if you're curious about how we are doing over the past 6 months or something. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Till then, bye bye.